Hello everyone and welcome to part 35 of my Call of Duty Modern Warfare Grind for Damascus. Today we are working on the EBR and the 1911. We're finally getting the EBR dressed. It's about time, you slut. And since this entire channel is based on the premise of a player with an average KD being able to unlock Damascus, I thought I would kind of go over some of the things that kind of separated me being 1 KD or on 3 KD or Onic D, depending on your racial background and your level of literacy, or not whether or not your name is Tarek and you're a dick. But some of the things that kind of helped me sort of be able to break even. So the entire point of a first-person shooter is that you are able to kill someone before they can kill you. That's the premise of the whole video game. Now, I can't make your hand-eye coordination better. I can't make you acquire your target and get your reticle and your sight over the enemy's head any faster. I can't familiarize your fingers with your buttons and make it second nature for when you throw a grenade, when you crouch, when you sprint, when you slide. Those are things that come with time and with experience of playing the game. But there are a few hacks that experienced players really do that not a lot of people talk about in their channels, and this is what separates a really average player from a really good player, is not only being able to aim and hit your target, but being smart. Being a smart player is just as important as being able to aim properly. So the first little hack for an average gamer to start trying to understand how to do is called centering. You'll notice on core game modes there's a small white dot in the center of your screen. This little pip. You can see it right there, the little pip in the center of my screen. So a good way to make it easier to actually kill people is that when you're moving around the map, you want to keep that pip where you expect your enemy's head to be. So I'll go into this more in detail. Obviously, you don't keep the pip where you think your enemy's head's going to be when you're aiming down sights like I am right now. When you're moving around the map, where you expect your enemy to be is where the pip needs to be. This means that if you're close, when you aim down sights, you will not have to move your thumbstick or your mouse as far to get the sight onto the enemy. Teabag. And if you watch my gameplay, I actually keep my pip about where I think their mid-chest is going to be. This has a couple of advantages over head height. A lot of advanced players will crouch or slide. Now, if you're aiming at their head, you have to move your reticle farther. Teabag. These were guys who were camping that had 3 white phosphoruses through this game. If your reticle is at head height and an enemy comes through a doorway crouching, you have to move your mouse or your controller farther to hit them in the head. The other advantage to having your pip at head height is recoil. Most guns in this game have recoil to where the bullets will travel up. So if you start at their chest, eventually the recoil will actually take the bullets to their head. And the other thing is flinch. When an enemy is shooting you, you do flinch upward. So an enemy can actually flinch your bullets up onto their head if you're aiming mid-chest. That is my recommendation for centering, is mid-chest. And on the opposite side of the spectrum, the second Call of Duty hack is on movement. So when you are actively moving around the map, it does not behoove you to remain standing up. That's why you see a lot of people do the halo jump, and they slide. They either jump or they slide when they come around the corner because they're expecting a stationary enemy to be aiming where their head would be when they're aiming down sights. This is how people who rush have learned how to deal with people who are camping or who are holding a line of sight. And it does make sense if you think about it. If you come around a corner and a player is aiming at chest or head height, the different body parts have different damage values in this game. So a headshot or a chest shot does a whole lot more damage than a shot to the leg. If you're jumping and the other player hits you in the leg, that gives you more time alive to kill him. Also, when you're jumping, you can anticipate that the player is going to be below you and you can aim down. So while you're actually flying through the air, you can shoot him in the head. That's why players jump and they slide or crouch also when they're moving around the map. Crouching's the same thing, but you just aim up. And hack number 3 moves right in from movement, and this is positioning. So knowing when to hold a line of sight, when to stop, slow down, when to rush in, these are things that honestly you will get with time. I'm still not great at this, but this can be really important, especially if you have a team that is really passive. You don't want to rush into their kill zones. They're just aiming down sights, waiting on you. Even if you're jumping and sliding, if there's 3 players aiming through one doorway, they're going to murder you. So camping and moving both have their advantages. When you're camping, you generally know where your enemy is going to come from. You're holding one line of sight. All you're doing is aiming where you think they're going to be. When they run through that doorway, run around that corner, you pull the trigger. The other side of the coin is movement around the map. So when you're camping, your enemy can pop around the map. They can still pop you. If they're a better shot than you, if they're faster on the gun than you, they can still kill you. However, if you can catch somebody not looking at you, the advantage of surprise is huge in this game. It is so much easier to kill an enemy that is not looking at you than one who is aiming down sights at you. That's why people who rush around, who move around the map, who get their enemy from the side and flank them or get them from behind do so well. That's why I really swear by dead silence. And that brings us into our next tip. Hack number 4 is awareness. This is so important in this game in Call of Duty. It allows you to get behind other players. It allows you to know where they're coming from, know when to run, know when to hide, know when to camp. Awareness is super important in Call of Duty. And this game gives you several cues to awareness. So if you look in the top left, we have our mini-map. I'm sorry if these are obvious to some of you. Some of you may not be as good as using these types of things. The mini-map, if they are not running Ghost and you have radar on, you'll see the red dots. Also at the top on the compass, the red dots will show up when a UAV is on or when an enemy shoots you and they're not using a silencer. These are cues to the direction of the enemy. After so many hours of playing, you'll learn the maps, you'll see where the dots are, and you can have a good guess of where your enemy is at. The second part of awareness is really overpowered in this game, and that is sound whoring. If you are not using a headset and you're wondering how people know where you are, why they are able to kill you, this is why. They can hear you coming. So awareness, when to sprint, when to run, when to walk, when to crouch. It's okay to tactically sprint from spawn a lot of times because the enemy is on the other side of the map. When you feel like you're getting close, you might want to slow down, you might want to walk. You might want to even crouch if you think you're getting super close. Crouching is the most silent thing you can do besides dead silence. So when you're crouching around the corner, especially if your enemy's not looking at you, you get a free shot at the side of their head. That's how you'll see me get a lot of kills by doing that. And this is how, when I'm camping, mounted on the wall and shoot house, how sometimes you'll see me just automatically look to the right or left, crouch down and pop a player. I heard them running around the corner. And I'm not going to tell you to go out and buy a $100 pair of headphones, but even a $30, $40 pair of wired headphones is a huge advantage against a person who is not using headphones, who is playing on speakers. If you're playing on your TV speakers or on your computer speakers, you are at a disadvantage. These kids are sound horning you. They can hear you running around like a monkey on the map. They can hear you walking. If you're not crouching, you don't have dead silence, and they have a good set of headphones on, they know where you're coming from. And that's that awareness. They're going to kill you because they just know where you're at. Of course, there is an exception to this when kill streaks are going off, when players are using LMGs without silencers and you have a lot of noise in the game. It is safe to run. It is safe to walk around corners. It is safe to tactically sprint because they can't hear you over that noise. So those are some of my hacks where you can be a smarter player and get better just by your brains. If you guys have any tips for me, that'd be great. Leave them in my comments below. I'd be happy to share them on one of my videos. Thanks for listening to me preach.
Oh no.
Hard point. Capture and defend the hard point. When it moves, you follow. Very low. Hard point identified. Secure the area.
What? Oh, we got somebody running around with a shotgun, of course. Oh, this is annoying. Get killed by the shotgun guy right like, hey, I got a shotgun.
Shotgun.
Oh, like ape. I'm an ape. Ape. Ape man run shotgun.
Get ready to move.
Oh, ape man have shotgun.
Friendly UAV overhead.
What?
Shown up as a level 1 on yours.
Yeah.
We're about to move. Okay, get to the hard point. Hard point lost. Allied cruise missile away. Hardpoint contested. Hardpoint lost. Next hardpoint, let's go. Allied cluster strike inbound. Hardpoint lost.
I saw that, Phil.
Yep. Double muerte.
Now see the centering here. Whoops, get the recoil, hits up, pops up, hits him right in the head.
Friendly UAV overhead. 10 seconds, get ready to move. Cruise missile.
Just missile off on him.
Hardpoint lost. Enemy to the area. Friendly missile operation for overhaul.
Here are some enemies who do not know where I am. Look how easy it is to pick them off.
10 seconds, get ready to move. Get to the hardpoint.
So you see me stop right here. That's me looking around trying to figure out where my enemy is. Here's another nice little centering shot. Recoil takes the bullets up.
Enemy taking the hard point. Be advised, friendly inbound. Okay, get to the hard point.
Now watch on the screen, you'll see a bullet come from the right. Right there. And I can tell there's an enemy over there. Awareness.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Why can't I kill him?
Recoil pops this bullet up right onto that guy's head.
Allied cruise missile away. Location secured.
Huh? I even got thumbs?
Holy shit! 41 kills
Yeah.
with the goddamn
Snake shot? Yep. Nice, ain't it?